Hi guys, Paul here from PABrewNews. That's fine. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, so I have an Allagash beer here from Maine, I do believe, with love actually. Allagash North Sky Stout, 7.5, smooth, roasted, silky, just a regular old stout. Since 1995, Maine, independently brewed, of course. Portland, Maine. So there you go. Okay, now Allagash is not one that I've ever really had on the channel. I've had it like maybe twice, I think. Once for sure. I think the Cuvex or something like that they had. The barrel-aged Tripel was nice. But I don't know many beers they do that aren't really Belgian-esque, you know what I mean? So, anyway, let's get into it. Again, I don't have them on my channel a lot. Well, it's got some head to it, for sure, and very clear. So, I can just see up to the light, it is just ruby hues all through this thing. I mean, like, you barely need to put it up to light to see all that ruby hue. So, it's very clear beer, a massive head on it. Massive head on this one. Okay. There we go. Okay. Just working on the new duck and chicken coop. Duck and turkey coop. Got chickens. Had ducks. Apparently getting ducks back. Apparently getting turkeys too. So, okay. Yes, ma'am. Whatever. We are doing what we are doing. And I was out in the woods. I'm going to put it far out in the woods. There's a natural stream out there. Kind of natural spring, I guess you want to call it, that does feed this one area, so I figured it'd be perfect for ducks. Put it right there, water. I'm going to dig it out to make it deeper. Always thinking. So anyway, now it's kind of calmed down. Let's get an aroma on this one. A lot of roasty toasty, kind of earthy floral tones. It smells a little hopped up, overly hopped. A little bit of black, a little bit of nice coffee tonality, a lot of roasty toast tones, brown bread kind of tonalities wafting through here. Big floral tone, pof, like whiffing through here. Earthy floral, a little bit of copper coin almost tonality. Yeah, a lot of earthy hops. Cheers. Bit thin. Low side of a medium body, earthiness in the background, copper coin tonalities, wafting away, minerality. Definitely not a rich, creamy, chocolate kind of a stout, if you like those kind of more approaches. This is more lighter, slight roast tonality, a lot of earthiness, a lot of that floral tonality walk through, over hopped, a bit too thin. You could see right through it. That's a good way to tell. You know what I mean? So. It is, I'm sure it's a stout. It's a stout. American stout, I guess you want to call it. Hopped up. It's really big on that kind of earthy floral hop tonality. It's actually, I would say, with the roast, it's matching the roast is what you're getting out of it. It's not chocolate and roast and stuff, and then with a nice kind of earthy undertone rising up from the below. It's just, if it was a little bit more hoppy, and especially if there was like citrus tonalities and stuff like wafting through it, and that was noticeable, I'd almost give it at the black IPA standard. So it's about there, because the roast is already low. It's got some nice roast tonalities, little coffee tonalities, but like it's not, big roast, big chocolate, char, things like that. So the way it is, it's pretty much on par with each other. As I said, if it kicked it a little bit more, I'd be like, oh, hoppy stout. It's definitely a hoppy stout. This is hoppy stout category. Adam, Mersey beer. This is a hoppy stout. This is not a black IPA. This is a hoppy stout. We were having this conversation before about a couple beers. But if the hops were kicked up a little bit more, and especially if it had a little bit of a soft citrus tone, it would definitely be a black IPA. But it's not. It's just a textbook American Stout, hoppy American Stout. Boom, bam, boom. You could drink it. You got to be ready for that kind of like dryness and that kind of over that low roast. No chocolate really to speak of, that savory aspect, and it's a lot of earthy floral tonality. So you got to be ready for that. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see what it says. Like a clear night lit by stars, this silky Belgian... Oh, I was going to say, like, everything is Belgian-inspired. And of course it is. Belgian-inspired stout balances light notes of fruit and sweetness with roasted malts. Inspired by late evenings spent around crackling campfires, North Sky is brewed to merge lightness and darkness into a super sippable stout. It's sippable, I guess you want to call that. Not pulling a lot of fruits. I mean, the only thing I can say is there might be a little soft star anise in the background. Well, now when I'm speaking to you, wafting through the palate, but really there's not like a big... I don't like Belgian stouts, and if this is an example, I'm not a big fan of it. I've had worse Belgian stouts. I've had better Belgian stouts. But a Belgian stout is just something that really shouldn't happen, in my opinion. I just don't like... stick to traditionals, don't ruin stouts, which are, epically awesome when done right, and epically crap when they're done wrong. So, but yeah, so apparently Allagash, the only thing they can do is Belgian stuff because they're very one-tracked, apparently, because that's the only thing I've ever seen from them is Belgian-inspired stuff. If I wanted that, I'd pick stuff from Belgium. I think that's really a good, I know it sounds like a dick's thing to say, but everybody that wants to try to be something else, if I wanted a Belgian this, I'd get it from Belgium. Because I really haven't been overly impressed with any Belgian styled stuff from America. There's a few things that kick up. Now, man, I liked the Cruex or whatever it was called. I liked Brewery West more that I had a long time ago. Of course, the Shoots, not the Stoic. But I haven't really gone apey over Belgian stuff that wasn't from Belgium, if you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So it just is what it is. Like most of the stuff that Boulevard did was shit. I don't know. I haven't drank an Oma Gang beer in I don't know how long that wasn't kind of meh. Going a little farther north, it was Unibrew was always interesting. But once you had La Fin du Monde, you had Trois Pistoles and Baudette and stuff like that, and Terrible, and they were okay, and they were good, but they were one of those ones that because they were rare to get and stuff like that. But once you got a chance to get a bunch of stuff from Belgium, it just kind of blows the doors off those. And again, once you've had the ability to get those beers over and over again, you got to go, I've already had that. I don't really need to drink that, and that's what it is, you know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents on that, so fuck you. Belgian Stout. I'd actually have to say it was actually less than textbook for a Belgian Stout because I wasn't pulling a lot of raisins and figs and dark fruit out of this that I have in other Belgian Stouts, like the Boulevard, for example. The thin makes sense now, why it's so damn thin. It almost just seems like a poorly made American stout with the hops that have been used, and I really don't get a lot of dark fruits. I get a little, like I said, a nuance of star anise as I spoke, but then even that went away. So I'm going to throw it in the 7 category then, I guess. A little notch under solid. So 7 out of 10 for the North Sky. Paul for PABrewNews. Cheers. Bye-bye. Watch that figure. Here comes.